All right, well, welcome to the RCA Coaches Show. I'm Pete Peterson, the offensive coordinator, and I'm here with Coach Alan Horn, the athletic director and head football coach. How you doing this morning, Coach?
Doing fine, doing fine.
Good, good. Well, let's start it off and let's talk about football this week. Tell us a little bit about this week.
Well, we traveled up to Beaufort. This is the first real road trip we had this year. Went up there to Beaufort Academy. Got a nice facility up there. It's always a nice place. They've got a great football field, always well kept. Coach Wheatley's a good football coach. Been there for 6 years. His team's always well coached. They are a seasoned team, which is pretty much going to be our course this year, going into the camps that are playing teams that are seasoned. And they were well coached, but it was a good challenge for us. We came out with some positive notes and some experiences that will help us in the future.
Because I know it's going to be a trying year for us overall because, you know, of our youth on the team. But what are some of the things that we saw?
Well, the big thing, you play up or down to your competition. And this is the third week that we've played a third very good team. And it gives our kids an experience to play kids that are older than them, that are well coached, and this brings our kids up. Every week we're getting a little bit better. Coach's staff notices the fine details we're working on, but it's a work in progress. I mean, we can't expect our sophomores to play up against seniors and be more polished than them. So there were some high points though. I mean, we had some very good pass completions, one that went for a touchdown in the second half. Good reads, good execution, but on the second hand, we made mistakes that young people make. We were putting the ball on the ground too much. We're throwing passes into coverage, having a lot of missed tackles. And a lot of that comes with being young and just not having confidence to go in there and stick it to people.
Well, Coach, with that, you know, I understand that with more practice and more actual repetition, you know, the better the competition, the better the level of play becomes. And now I hear that we have a couple of scrimmage games coming up.
Yeah, one of the things that we're able to do in South Carolina Independent School Association is scrimmage during the year. High school league, they have limitations and regulations. And in 8-man football, it's very important that we can scrimmage against people during the week because by nature of 8-man football, you don't have enough people to really give you a good practice session. There's a school in North Myrtle Beach that called me and they're starting football. They don't have any seniors and they're wading through the same things that we're doing now. They're concerned about the schools around them that they'll have to play because they're so big and they're so small. So I invited them down Tuesday to come down here. We're going to scrimmage with them 3:30 and get a chance to take a look at them. And maybe if we have a lot of things in common, we can start a relationship where we can put them at the end of our schedule. We've got an open date November 2nd, and we'll plug them in and have another game in there. As we go along, I mean, we've got a tough schedule. We've talked about that. We've got Patrick Henry coming to town this week, and Mike McCoy and his boys they're a well-established program again. I don't think they're quite the size of St. John's or Greenwood Christian, but they'll be well polished and they'll be coming to town with a good group of kids, definitely more than what we've got on staff. Our kids, though, with the lack of numbers and everything and the inexperience, our kids are really going through a baptism of fire this year, but it's going to really, if they stick together and we hold the course, our time will come. It will come. And all of our coaches have been trying to lift up the kids to let them know that, and it will.
So it looked like this was the start of a pretty exciting week. Now, there was a lot of things going on around school, around campus this week as far as athletics go. Can you elaborate and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, football is always the most visible, but it's not the only sport we have on campus. And Coach Bray and the volleyball team started their season this year, got off to a real good start, and Coach Bray does a fine job coaching volleyball here. And our girls just came off of a real big win Thursday night against Faith Christian, which is our crosstown rivalry. They won the varsity match, and the JV match was very, very close. And they're 500 now in the season. The first game they played St. John's, another tough game. Our girls are playing really well, and they're spearheaded by Chelsea Dowdy and Jennifer Altman. And they've got, Coach Bray's got some younger girls in there, some new girls that transferred in. She's doing a good job with the transition A lot of our younger girls are coming up. It's exciting to watch programs start at the bottom. Yeah, and we're having our show here this morning, Pete, here in the gym. This is volleyball is one of the keynote sports that we can have here on our facility in our gym. And the smaller the gym gives us more of a dynamic audience appeal being so close. And it's been a good rallying point for us. The Booster Club does real well, fielding the sport. The Booster Club also spearheaded us this summer by getting us a new volleyball standard system that we bought from the Citadel. The girls, they got new uniforms last year. They're really, our girls program is really up and coming, and a lot of the credit goes to Coach Bray and the way she's headed these girls up. I'm looking forward to an exciting year with them. They've got a big schedule in front, and they've definitely got off to a good start. Both of these games, even the ones that we were on the short end of with St. John, very close game. So I'm encouraged by that.
Yeah. Now, speaking of their schedule, Coach, now what days do the volleyball players play and what time?
Yeah, JV, the JV plays on the same date as the varsity, and they usually play on Tuesday and Thursday. And the JV will start at 4, varsity at 5. And they'll play 2 out of 3 matches, both of them. I think we're away next week.
All right, and so we have a very exciting week ahead of us also. We have the start of the JV football season. We have a scrimmage game coming up. Would you like to talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, it's going to be a busy week for the coaching staff. Of course, I bring my staff in on Saturday mornings at 7 o'clock, break down the film from the night before, and the kids come in at 9 to review the film, and we check injuries. But this week's going to be kind of exceptional. We'll have to put a hop in our stride because we do have a scrimmage Tuesday after the Labor Day holiday on Monday, so we'll have to get back in the saddle pretty fast. And then Thursday night, we open up the JV football schedule. We'll open up with First Baptist, another crosstown rivalry, and it'll be our first game. We've got a young group of kids that are starting in the backfield. Kind of encouraged by it. Bryson Gibson will be starting us at quarterback, and Dean Hensley will be at tailback, and Dennis Berry at fullback. And these kids are very promising. And the offensive line, probably going to start with Antonio Wright, Brandon Masters, and John Wayne Best. And I think they're going to have a lot of fun. We don't have a lot of depth, which is kind of typical here at Ridge Christian, but our kids they're always there. I mean, that doesn't bother them. My kids aren't easily impressed by numbers. And they're a great bunch of kids, and we're really looking forward to starting the JV football program. And like I say, again, we got Patrick Henry the very next night at home. We play our home games again at Faith Christian, and I encourage all the parents to come out and support these boys. I mean, it's quite literally the best donation you'll ever make to come out here to watch these children. So I hope the parents will come out and watch them. And the grades, with this being such a busy week, we have to we always keep our ear to the ground with the kids with the grades. Have to stay on top of them so we can keep the grades up. And I encourage the parents to do their end of it and let me know if they're not doing the homework, and we can stay on top of these guys because after all, that's what it's all about. The sports program is educational icing on the cake. It's something where the rubber meets the road, but the academics are where it all starts.